Ooh la la, look how lovely, delicate and tender it is. Hi everyone, so today I'm going to make some roast chicken with veggies. Here I've got 1.5 kilo of the whole bird. And here I've got 500 grams of mixed roasting veggies. This comes with garlic and rosemary. This is the ready-made one that I got from the supermarket. And it just comes like this in 500 gram packs. You can use whatever veggies you like in order to roast it. That's up to your personal preference. You can use carrots or potatoes or some beans. That's totally up to you. First of all, I'm going to massage oil all over the chicken. You can either use your hands or a brush to spread the oil around all over the chicken. Alright, so I've spread the oil all over the chicken. I'm thinking of doing it in 2 steps. So first I'm thinking of preparing the marinade to put inside the cavity. So that's this little area over there, all the way in there. And yeah, the second step would be preparing a marinade to place it on top of the chicken. So I feel that if I place it on top here, the masala is only going to catch on the skin, whereas I want it to nicely go in there. So I'm going to make a slit right here and then try and get under the skin. So make way, you know, maybe using a knife, just slit it under the skin, make way. Oh, it looks like I'm doing some tummy tuck or some sort of a surgery for this chicken anyway. So yeah, I'm going to just do that with a knife and then put the masala inside under the skin, because I don't see any point in putting it on top of the skin unless I slit the chicken, which I don't want to do either. But yeah, so these crusty bits, I actually use coconut oil to spread over the chicken. So that's why, because it's cold these days, so that's why the coconut oil's gotten a bit like that. But anyway, let's continue. First time I'm going to bake a whole chicken like this. I don't remember the last time when I baked it, so it's all a learning experience. So kindly don't be very critical and judgmental if I'm doing something wrong. So yeah, let's see how we go. It's all a learning journey, isn't it? I'm just loosening the skin underneath with this knife so that I can place the masala in there and it will nicely get into the chicken. Yep, so all nicely done. The skin is all loose now, and that will enable me to place the masala right under the skin and it will go on the flesh. And now once that's done, I can start preparing the masala. So I can put it under the skin. Here I've got 1 tablespoon of oil, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cracked black peppercorns, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon ground coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon ground cumin, half a teaspoon turmeric, 1 tablespoon chili powder. I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper. I had already added in the cracked peppercorns before, so that will give a nice little crunch. So this is optional, but yeah, I like that nice strong kick for this. So that's why I added in extra pepper. 1 tablespoon garlic paste, 1 tablespoon ginger paste, 2 tablespoons of lime juice. This is optional, but to bring it all together, I'm going to add in about 1 teaspoon honey. And now for my special ingredient that's going to go into this dish, I'm going to add in some Chinese cooking wine. This brand is called the Double Phoenix. I'm just going to add in about half a cup and then give it all a good mix together. And there we go. Here's our lovely nice masala. I'm going to lift up the skin and place the masala under the skin of this chicken. Once it's brushed nicely in there all the way till the end, now we can just start brushing it on top of the chicken as well. Before brushing it on top of the chicken, I'm also going to add in 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary into this masala. Give it a good mix. This will help give a nice smoky flavor for this chicken. Before spreading this masala on top, I'm going to just put it into this cavity as well. Nicely brush it inside. I've rubbed in the masala inside the cavity area as well. Then I've taken 2 dried lemons. If you don't have dried lemons, you can just cut a normal lemon. I'm just going to make holes outside using a knife. If you have a look at my previous kabsa recipe, you'll get more information regarding this ingredient. It's called the dried lime or dried lemon. I've just pierced some holes on it using a knife. And take the lemon and place it right inside there, inside the cavity area. Push it right in there. Next here I've got the segments of 1 mandarin. If you don't like this, it's optional. You can leave it out or you can use pineapple or something else which you prefer instead. I've got 2 bay leaves and 2 small onions that I'm going to chop up. There we go. So I've chopped up the onions and the mandarins. Placed it off into a bowl and I'm just going to take a few tablespoons of this masala and I'm going to put it in here. About 3 tablespoons would do. and give it a good mix. And once that's done, I'm going to take this and stuff it inside the cavity area as well. There we go. And I'm going to attempt on fitting in one more dried lime in there, and then I'm going to just cover up the skin and secure it with a toothpick. In goes another dried lime, and I'm just going to secure the skin together with a toothpick. There we go, secured nicely with the help of some toothpicks. Next, I'm going to use a string and tie these two legs together. The legs are also nicely tied up, and all that's left to do is brush on the masala on top of the chicken skin. And once that's done, I'll be placing the chicken onto a large greased deep baking tray. Nicely brushing the masala on top of the chicken. The front and back of the chicken is nicely being brushed on with the masala. Our lovely bird is nicely marinated and placed off into the baking tray. I preheated my baking oven at 200 degrees. I'll be baking it at 200 degrees for about 1.5 hours. In that half an hour, this will be covered fully with an aluminium foil and baked. And for 1 hour, I'll just open the aluminium foil and let it bake. In terms of the veggies, I'm just going to season it with some salt and pepper and about 2 tablespoons of oil. And then I'm going to toss it around. And I'm also going to add in half a teaspoon of turmeric. It's so hard to work with coconut oil when the weather is cold because look at it, it's ended up being crusty. And I'm going to place this on the sides of the baking tray along with the chicken. And finally, I'm adding in about 2 tablespoons of the Chinese cooking wine all over. And look at this wonderful, beautiful sight. Next, I'm going to cover it up using an aluminium foil and put it off in the baking oven at 200 degrees for half an hour. And then I'll take it out, open it, and leave it for another 1 hour. Yep, all nice and set and ready to go off into the baking oven. 30 minutes are up, and I'm going to quickly open it now. There we are. I forgot to mention that this is the free range chicken. So apparently they say it doesn't have any hormones in it, but God knows. In the half an hour that I have covered it up, this is how it's turned out. The veggies look a tiny bit soggy to me. That's the one thing I'm not very sure of because chicken and veggies have totally different cooking times. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it open and roast it for the next 1 hour. But at intervals, I'll also be keeping an eye out on the veggies because that's what's worrying me. And if any changes, I'll let you know. Apart from that, let's go according to the plan. And yes, I'm going to keep it into the baking oven again, leaving it open. If you're wondering what this discoloration is all around here, this little dark area, so that's the masala we had stuffed in under the skin of the chicken initially. I'm also going to quickly just give these veggies a bit of a toss around so it doesn't remain very dry. After 25 minutes, I've taken it out of the baking oven. I'm just getting rid of the skin that might have gotten a bit more burnt than it needs to be. So just taking it all off. And the ones that look nice and just golden brownish in color, I'm leaving it over there. In terms of the veggies, they look nice and roasted. So I'm going to take it off and set it aside. Just going to take them out and place it into a bowl for the time being. In it goes. It looks nice and lovely. Just going to take and drizzle some of this gravy on top of the chicken. And then place it off back into the baking oven. If it's getting too burnt, just cover it up using an aluminium foil and place it off back into the oven for another 30 minutes and it's ready. 30 minutes have passed. And this is how it looks like. I'm just going to cover it up fully with an aluminium foil and let it sit there for about 15 to 20 minutes. The reason that the skin on top got too dark compared to the leg area was because we had stuffed in the masala under the skin and it was already having a slight discoloration even before we placed it into the oven because of the color of the masala. So that's why the skin over here looked a bit darker, and that's the reason why I just took it off from this area, but I still left a little bit of skin all over here. I've just fully covered it up and I'm going to let it sit there for another 15 to 20 minutes and then I'm going to start plating it up. 20 minutes have passed and I'm just going to start plating it up. And this is how the chicken looks like at the moment. I've just placed it onto this dish. Just going to drizzle on some gravy on top. That way it doesn't look too dry and it's going to be nice and juicy. Next, I'm going to cut it up and plate it to see how it looks all together. So I'm going to just untie the string and then take off the toothpicks first. I just untied the string and ooh la la, look how lovely, delicate and tender it is. It's very nice. Just going to remove the toothpicks Let's explore what's happening inside the cavity of this chicken. So you can see the onions and the masala, everything's nicely cooked. And the dried lime, which was very hard to start off with, see, it's become nice and soggy. So every flavor that was inside it has gone into this lovely masala. I'm going to plate up this lovely chicken along with the veggies and the lovely sauce. Here's a lovely gravy sauce. And also I'm going to add in the masala that we had put inside the cavity along with it as well. And there we are, so succulent and beautiful. So here I've got a leg piece. I plated up the thigh, a wing. So that's the wing, and a breast piece. And then I plated up the onion masala that we had put into the cavity along with one of the dried limes. And I plated up our lovely roasted veggies. Finally, I'm going to pour in a little bit of gravy on top. This is how messy the chicken looks like at the moment because I cut into it. Here's what I had plated up. So got the lovely, nice and juicy chicken, the onion masala, the veggies, and yeah, looking lovely. Very excited and can't wait to tuck into this lovely dish. Just look how succulent it is. It's literally just falling off the bones, and wow. And apart from that, here it is everyone. Our lovely chicken roast along with roasted vegetables are ready. Enjoy. Bye.